Las Vegas was the setting. It was the second day of soundcheck, and no one had any idea what was about to unfold. BTS had already completed their first day. The atmosphere was intense from the start. Yet what happened afterward became the moment ARMY kept replaying for hours. Everything began with a small golf cart, the type normally seen in airports or around resorts. Nothing about it seemed remarkable at first. Then 7 of the world's biggest artists packed themselves into it. Right at the front sat Park Jimin. A bright pink microphone rested in his hand. A smile spread across his face as if he had just won everything. He seemed radiant, not because of stage lighting, not because of cosmetics. It was simply Jimin being Jimin. Fans who witnessed it said the energy inside the arena changed the instant he appeared. First came the shocked reactions, then laughter followed. Moments later, the screams erupted, because whenever Jimin shows this kind of happiness, people around him feel it too. But that was only the beginning. What happened next on that golf cart caught everyone completely off guard. The person driving the tiny vehicle was none other than Jungkook, the youngest member, the Golden Maknae, and, apparently, the driver responsible for Bangtan's most chaotic entrance of 2026. One hand guided the cart while his tattooed arm rested casually in view. The familiar grin on his face made it clear he was enjoying every second. Behind him sat Taehyung, Hosok, Namjoon, Seokjin, and Yoongi. All of them squeezed together, laughing, shoving one another, pointing toward fans around them. As for Jimin, he occupied the front passenger seat, the prime spot. He was not steering. He was not crowded into the back. Instead, he simply enjoyed the moment. The pink microphone remained in his hand while he sang along to nothing in particular. Jungkook kept his attention on the path ahead. Jimin focused on ARMY. He waved continuously. He smiled without stopping. He tried to make eye contact with as many fans as possible. For many people watching, that interaction reflected their connection perfectly. Jungkook takes the lead. Jimin lights up the moment. Together, they turn chaos into something unforgettable. Yet there was one detail that drew even more attention. That pink microphone. ARMY has been talking about it non-stop, and once the reason becomes clear, it is easy to understand why. Jimin carried the pink microphone as though it belonged there. It was not being used for a performance. It was not part of sound check. He simply brought it along for fun. As the golf cart moved through the venue, he kept it in hand while greeting fans. Several times, he playfully lifted it toward his mouth and acted as if he were singing. The gestures were theatrical, lighthearted, completely in character for Jimin. Fans on X noticed right away. One post described Jimin with the pink microphone as looking incredibly mochi and said it melted their heart. Another fan wrote that he appeared to be starring in his own music video. That description matched the atmosphere perfectly. A routine ride in a golf cart suddenly felt like a performance space. There was no choreography, no filming crew, no expectations, only Jimin, a pink microphone, and thousands of ARMY members unable to take their eyes off him. Yet the moment carried another layer. It was not only about Jimin looking adorable. It showed him feeling entirely at ease, entirely authentic. After everything that had happened, seeing him so relaxed meant a great deal to those watching. While Jimin occupied the front with the pink microphone, the rear of the cart was filled with controlled chaos. Taehyung leaned outward and enthusiastically greeted every fan within sight. Hoseok laughed with the full-body energy ARMY instantly recognizes while trying not to tumble off the vehicle. Namjoon held up his phone, seemingly recording the scene because he never lets a memory pass by unnoticed. Seokjin entertained everyone with his trademark wide-eyed expressions. Yoongi remained seated calmly, just as usual, but he was smiling, a genuine smile. People who viewed the clips later said the atmosphere felt like watching relatives reunite after a long separation. 7 adult men, international superstars, packed into a vehicle designed for a maximum of 4 people, and they appeared happier than they had in many months. What resonated most with ARMY was how effortless everything seemed. Nothing looked manufactured. Nothing felt rehearsed. It was simply Bangtan being themselves. Energetic, playful, slightly absurd. Amid all the excitement, one detail never changed. Jimin remained the center, connecting everyone together. He frequently turned around to check on the others. At one point, he reached back and tapped Taehyung's hand. He kept the energy flowing from one end of the cart to the other, from the front to the back, from Jimin to every member. The reason this moment became more meaningful than a humorous golf cart clip is simple. Soundcheck is normally intended for preparation. It is rehearsal. Soundcheck is usually the work that happens before the main event. It is the preparation, the rehearsal before the audience sees the full show. Yet BTS, and especially Jimin, transformed that time into something special for ARMY. Day 1 Las Vegas had already been unforgettable. That was the consensus from everyone who attended. But Day 2 carried a different feeling. The atmosphere felt more relaxed. The smiles appeared brighter. The playful chaos became even louder. Fans who experienced both days recognized the difference. Immediately, one ARMY shared that the Day 2 soundcheck felt like the members had finally settled in completely. Another fan wrote that Jimin seemed to be operating on an entirely different level, as if he had started the day choosing joy. The videos support exactly that impression. The happiness visible on the golf cart did not seem staged. It looked genuine, and ARMY has always recognized the difference. He treated the pink microphone almost like a toy. He leaned toward Jungkook while the cart continued moving. He looked out at the crowd the way someone might look at longtime friends. This was not Park Jimin the idol. This was Park Jimin the individual. And for many ARMY members, that is the version they cherish most. Before this moment comes to an end, there is one final detail that connected everything together. The last thing many fans noticed was Jimin's face. Not only the smile, something deeper behind it. There is a side of Jimin that appears only when he feels completely at ease, when he is surrounded by his members, when ARMY is nearby, when music fills the moment. That was the Jimin Las Vegas witnessed, a pink microphone in hand, a hoodie on his back, the wind moving through his hair, waving as though nothing in the world could trouble him. Fans on X described it perfectly. They said he looked free, and that was the version of Jimin they hoped would remain forever. Moments like these remind ARMY why they continue watching, why they return to every fan cam, why they seek out every clip, why they value every behind-the-scenes glimpse. Not only because of the performances, but because of the rare moments of real happiness they reveal. On an ordinary soundcheck day in Las Vegas, Jimin gave ARMY exactly that. There was no stage, no trophy, no award ceremony, only a golf cart, 6 brothers beside him, and a pink microphone. That is what made the moment memorable. That is what made it feel uniquely BTS. And that is what made it feel uniquely Park Jimin. If this moment stood out to you, share the part that stayed with you the most and continue celebrating every unforgettable second together.